We are back with another Age Mythology Retold point of view game. Today we are watching Recon, the Gaia player, versus I Am Magic in the red as Isis, but we are going to concentrate purely on what Recon is doing. And actually, these guys, it looked like they played two games, so the second one I'm going to watch as another video from Magic's perspective as the Isis. But Recon is a very strong Gaia player. He's actually played it in some tournaments. I remember, I think it was the first tournament, he actually defended a Ragnarok with Gaia, which obviously Ragnarok isn't the strongest, but it was just basically an all-in from whoever his opponent was, and he just sat back and just managed to defend it really, really easily. And I think Recon is one of these very good macro players, so we're going to see what he's up to today. I actually want to see what his build is. So obviously, as the Gaia, you start with two hero citizens, and there has been builds in the past where you get more hero citizens, so I just wonder if that's still the kind of meta to go with Gaia or not. The map is also Blue Lagoon, I think. Yeah, it doesn't actually say for some reason, but Blue Lagoon is the map. And Blue Lagoon can spawn kind of defensive with some of these ponds sometimes, so that could favor the Gaia. I mean, also Chariot Archers are things that also like the kind of closed off map, which is the Isis player that will be benefiting from that. So no real map advantages in my opinion. And we're also seeing some aggressive scouting from Magic here. If you also saw the last video where we watched Recon again actually play the Isis, I messaged him afterwards, and the build that he got where it was super aggressive was from Magic. So I wonder if that is what Magic is going to do. And we'll just see the Oracles having a look around to see some of these things. We've got Villagers are cheaper. That's very nice. If he's going to go for more than one town center, can be very strong. Looks like there's no extra villagers quite yet. Probably just wanted to get a temple up nice and early. There it is. Also getting some aggressive scouting done just to see what Magic space looks like. I mean, you can go aggro with Gaia if you want to. I've seen some of the top players say they do like one town center Gaia. So maybe you want to go in with like Termas or Mamillo or something like that, or both of them, just to get some harassment on. Terma can be good against the classical age of Egypt. The only thing is the spearmen do actually have a small counter against them, and they're basically the same speed. I think spearmen are 5 speed and the slingers are 5 speed too after their nerfs from right at the beginning. We're also seeing loads of goats being picked up. I think this is going to be really nice Recon if he wants to sit back in space. We have this one, which is myth units use their special attacks more often. What sort of myth units do we have? Caladria. That's going to be pretty huge if that's what he decides to go for, and that is what he's going for. He's going through Oceanus, which is the Mamillo Carnivora Caladria job. It's also not getting those extra heroes. So just the bog standard kind of build, and then 5 on gold, which isn't so bog standard, but it looks like because of these Gaia forest trees, he actually chopped down the wood super early if he wants to go for a second town center. We look at town centers. I mean, this one doesn't really do too much. Can we see the other side? Obviously, Recon can't see it, but this back one doesn't really do too much either. There's obviously already an obelisk on it. Also, just doesn't feel good to get one right at the back if there isn't anything on it. You only want a back town center if you have a lot of resources on it. Like if there was a town center like here, you know, if these trees were just gone and you had one here, or maybe just slightly ahead where it's like the gold mine and also the zebras as well. But excuse me, and then we go up to the next stage. Oceanus is in. And we do see Recon going for that slightly forward town center. It does somewhat cut off this path, and obviously the pathways can be easily blocked off by some walls. So this is out of the two, the way better town center if you're going for some kind of 2 town center play. Does he have the economic guild up? It doesn't look like he went for the early economic guild. So actually just a really fast advance time instead, getting that town center up without Magic really stopping it. If Magic went through Anubis and then went slightly faster, you can drop down the Plague of Serpents, get your Anubai over and your priests, and kind of deal a little bit of damage to these citizens. With the Caladria, it's probably pretty difficult though. Carnivora coming down, I don't think it would take out the settlement unless the Pharaoh goes back onto it. The Pharaoh should probably be empowering this up so it doesn't lose it. It looks like this actually might go down. There's a huge play from that Carnivora there. Actually, with how it works, I don't think the Pharaoh would have boosted it enough. That would be an interesting test, whether it's better to actually attack the Carnivora or not. But bit bit of idle time cost for those villagers, and also the actual resources of managing to do that. Also trying to get an economic guild kind of path block there, to deal a little bit of damage to the Sphinx. Do you see villagers coming down here? These ones will have to run away or turn them into heroes is the other option, because the Sphinx doesn't really do much damage against the heroes, and they can really hold their own with 3 times multiplier versus them. So we are seeing the heroes coming in just a little bit later, and these guys will be able to tank up for days. And they deal a decent amount of damage. Was that like 18 a hit? Would go down eventually if he decided to be a bit aggressive. Caladri are in as well. And now we will see the economic guilds coming through. Really interesting to see a Gaia not drop the early economic guild and not get any extra heroes. Just basically just going pure as fast as you can, second town center. And now we're just taking this one. We're taking this one a little bit slow. So we can assume that Magic probably got this second town center again, and he did. And I'm assuming that Recon doesn't even need to check. He just knows that that's probably going to be the case. He's also getting some more economic guilds forward. Now, this might look strange because obviously he's built one already, but the Lush spreads with economic guilds and manors, so it's really clutch to get some Lush around. It makes your units faster, it heals them, and it's just really good to fight on. It's also spreading the manors around this way. Magic's played this, the obelisks really nice though. There's obelisks everywhere. These obelisks for Isis are so cheap. You might as well just get the vision as and when you can. And it's also worth it to shank them down with a villager. Doesn't take very long. They're pretty weak overall. We did see that this one got kind of, this relic of the cheaper villagers did get ignored. It's something that's really easily done. You find it in like the early game and then you go, oh, I'm going to grab that, and then just completely forget. Or forget which one was which. Happens to me a lot, but unfortunately that's going to happen here, because this would have saved him a decent amount off of the 2 town centers. Also going for some Mamillos and getting an armory up. So Mamillos here just to sort of defend. Maybe they're going to put a bit of pressure on. Maybe they're going to take down some of these obelisks, but not going full army to kind of do any damage. It's very difficult to attack the Isis base because of the 3 watchtowers. This one is also pretty defensive with how the tree is, so you're not really going to get too much damage done, and you just want to have a little bit of presence around the map for some kind of map pressure and getting rid of the knowledge of the Isis player with these obelisks. I think we're going to see probably the Gaia Recon go up to the 3rd age here. And also, does he have his extra economic upgrade? So he doesn't have those either, which is interesting. Not deciding to get Sharp Mine, not deciding to get Quarry, but he is deciding to get survival equipment. And this is mainly because he's expecting an Ancestor's Eclipse to come in, and this just tanks up your unit slightly by 25% and makes the Ancestor's Eclipse not do as much. It's also getting hero Mamillos everywhere, so if this Ancestor's Eclipse timing push does come in, or just more of an Ancestor's Eclipse on its own, then these hero Mamillos will be more than enough to deal with them. So he's got 5 so far. Unfortunately, these ones are going to go down. All the Caladri is here. Ignore me. Sphinx has to run away. Unupgraded Sphinx against someone that can just constantly heal is not going to do too well. And the idea with these heroes would just be to spread them around. So he's got some over here. He's got some over here. He's got one here. And basically just be ready for wherever this Ancestors will get dropped. You'd probably expect it around here, but easily enough to run back. And Magic has noticed this, has the Axeman in response, and also Gaia here. The Recon Gaia is queued through Rhea. Rhea's a very strong goddess currently. We do see it gets dropped on the front here, which drops all of these citizens back. So these 4, I mean, they're probably all going to survive. Maybe the back one will actually go down unless the Caladria can heal it up pretty nicely. And it looks like it's not going to be able to heal it up. It does. That was a really weird animation. I don't know why it took so long. But spectator things, I guess. The Ancestors are running. Looks like Recon is not going to disrespect it. You do see some players just leave all of their villagers out until the last second. But Recon pulls it back, min-maxes it pretty nicely. Needs to pop them back out, but better to be safe than sorry, to be honest. And make sure that all of your villagers are out of the way. And you can see how quickly these Mamillo actually take out these Ancestors. So nicely played there by Recon, expecting what the ISIS does. This is what ISIS does. But on the back of an Ancestors Eclipse, you never just want to do that. You need to do something else. And Magic goes, I'm going to chuck up Amygdala Stronghold right in your face. And that's one of my favorite plays. And he's actually, no, it's going for a siege work. So he wants to pressure this second town center, wants to pressure this gold mine. And Gaia here gets up to the third age, which means she's going to have a traitor. So probably can traitor one of those siege towers if that's the siege tower push that kind of comes in. And then the siege tower plus behemoth will be pretty nice. Or he can also go and get one of those scorpion men if that's what he decides to go for. There, but yeah, a siege tower is pretty nice to change, to bring out, to be honest. And then the chariots are now out, and the Mamilo are going to really struggle against these, which is why the Cantarius are already queued up. All those barracks going to be working very, very nicely. Trying to get some slows on these low HP ones. Really well pulled back by Magic there with a bit of nice micro. And the priest will be able to heal these bad boys back up. One of the most annoying things about playing against Egyptians is their fast chariot archers, that if they take damage, they can get healed up eventually. But I mean, there are 5 Caladrius out for Recon to do the same here. Powerless going up on this gold mine. He also still, that's what that one's about to run out, but he has 2 gold mines to choose from. And that's more than enough. He'll be absolutely fine here. And also get that whenever he wants, so it doesn't really do much for him. And we do see extra oracles coming out. Looks like one of his oracles actually got picked off. So, and still some heroes coming through. The main damage is dealt with the myth units. The ISIS can go for some scorpion men, but it won't be too taxing unless he's gone for so many monuments. But probably not with this amount of pressure coming in. Chariot archers are in a nice ball, and there's not enough Cantarius out really yet. Looks like he goes for the Sphinx, which is an interesting choice. Tries to just shank down the siege towers also. Maybe he doesn't even need to take the siege towers if the villagers are in. Hero villagers deal so much damage to those siege towers. Also, the priests are trying to micro onto those Caladrius. If you micro the Caladrius away, they will miss every single time. Cantarius tanking pretty well. He's got 46% pierce armor there. He's got the copper shields in and pressuring the chariot archers back and getting rid of Magic's push, just denying the push. Force him back into the Migdal, and he has to respect the Migdal there. The chariots will just sit behind. Then if you go run and get the chariots, they're going to pop out and hit somewhere else. Very, very frustrating. But Cantarius off on a raid. They are faster than the chariots, so the chariots are not the answer for them, but the spearmen are coming in there. So see destroyers with their 73% pierce armor. Also went through Rhea, so can also get the extra hack armor for those bad boys if he chooses to. You see a Migdal stronghold up on that position also to secure his own gold mine, as well as threatening this forward one and also collecting from this forward one. Trying to see Palace over this side to secure some of this food, then also make sure that he gets this settlement later, and then somewhat does something for these gold mines. Starting to get more oracles out, so wanting to spend that favor, maybe to get some heroes out. Maybe he wants another behemoth to push. But we see actually a lot of these upgrades are getting ignored. So he feels that he needs the army out and the upgrades for the army rather than the eco upgrades, which is exactly what he needs, considering the siege towers are back. But the hero citizens are still here to defend. Chariots do take them down very quickly, and Magic is waiting for these guys to pop out. So he needs to play it well. And they come through. Look how quickly the siege towers go down. But we're going to hear the best noise in the entire game, which is hero citizens going down. Very satisfying if you don't like it, Atlanteans. But while this is happening, big raid up the top on that gold mine also, while also trying to get away with all these villagers. On the Lush, they do move a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, there isn't any Lush this side. It does have a good raid up that top side. Caladrius coming back to come and maybe heal up some of these citizens. Destroyers, Arcus, Behemoths are the choice. And also, this Migdal Stronghold will definitely go down soon. Spearman raid coming in, but the Palace is here. These guys can turn around and shank, be absolutely fine. We do see that, have the villagers escaped? Yes, they have. So now we do see Magic in the main base. Watchtowers are in. So some of these guys will go down pretty quickly. But this is putting a stop to all of Recon's food. So they're getting a lot of value out of this chariot archer push. So the citizen did come over for a look-see, then go straight back. And Recon has found the second gold mine. Carnivore number 2 going on to the units trying to defend the villagers. They don't do much damage to villagers themselves, but anything around them will take some serious damage. Pushing off a second gold mine. And I imagine that magic is still on this third gold mine, but still causing some serious idle time, as well as obviously magic causing the idle time over here. Third town center up, and over here a lot of villagers can run over there and be absolutely fine. Looks like there's no pressure on this gold mine here though, so as far as the gold mines go, Recon's doing fine. He then can secure this one very soon anyway. So he's in a commanding spot. Trying to get more raids coming in. Behemoth. The one Behemoth just doesn't feel so good. But if you're Kronos and you get the two just, I don't know, there's just something about getting the 2 Siege Myth units just feels so much better. Obviously, you can just take down buildings so much quicker. Looks like magic has gone back up to this gold mine, so Recon probably trying not to get spotted there, and then he's going to send a decent amount of units up there to push them off, rather than just the one where he could probably just turn around and shank them. Spearman trying to get some damage onto the Cantarius, but really well pulled back there because the Arcus are in there. Siege Towers trying to get a bit of damage, but not too much. But the Behemoth is tanking pretty well, considering there's only one priest. He does deal divine damage. If you could get the Caladria to heal up the Behemoth, you'd be doing pretty well. And unfortunately, Chariot Archer Ball is too much. This guy cannot retreat. He's just too slow. And this is what I mean about the turnaround and shrank. You just need a 3 or 4. And looks like the wall is coming up. Oh, I thought that was a unit. It looks like that's maybe where the full army of Recon is heading, while also trying to get this town center back up. And we have the Cantarius running back. Do see that the wall is up. That's why that awkward pathing happened. It's just something that happens when the wall's in. But not to worry, Recon has found it. So still getting his town center. Trying to force magic off that gold mine. Looks like he is just letting magic have the middle one. He's spent all that money to get the Migdo up, get the siege works up, probably get some walls up over there. So just let him have it. It's almost going to be depleted too. I mean, he's had it for ages. So if we have it here. Actually, he hasn't put many villagers on it, which is interesting. Maybe because it's the forward one. Nicely also pushing off of this gold mine, also securing his own gold mine this side. Arcus just tearing down all these spearmen and then getting away from the chariot archers. It's just the chariot archer ball with just bronze shield, so nothing against the Cantarius. So if these Cantarius can actually get onto the chariots, they will deal decent damage, but I mean, they just go down so quick unless you have so many of them. Destroyers are putting in work, though. I mean, they tank for ages. Does he have the extra rare upgrade? No, he doesn't, which is probably just because the sheer amount of chariot archers. It gives you more hack armor, so, I mean, there isn't that many camels out, so it's probably not worth it. And then the spearmen just get shot by the Arcus and die very quickly. A little bit of micro to deal with the chariots, but the Arcus trying. Carnivore number 3. That costs 20 favor, but displaces the chariots nicely. Hero Cantarius with 57 pierce armor, though. He does survive for quite a long time. Pushes magic back. It's Lonely Relic. The Lonely Relic is still there. Destroyer trying to get a little bit of action down here. Second Migdal Stronghold trying to come up. Without a Pharaoh, that's probably not going to happen. Some of these Archers can snipe down the villagers pretty quickly. Cantari is zoning pretty well. Might want to run those away, though, considering there is already 2 Migdal Strongholds up, so they are going to deal some decent damage. I imagine he has the upgrades. Oh, he just has Has copper weapons there, deal a bit more damage. I'm not sure whether the Watchtower upgrade crenellations actually affects Migdals. I don't think it does. If anyone knows, let me know. I don't think it does though. It used to in the old game. Looks like Recon is trying to secure another gold mine or stop Magic from getting it, but he's half minded out already. And some of those villagers will go down. Could just put a powerless up here to sort of defend it, or pressure off it, or even just send 1 or 2 Cantarius up there. Destroyers, I think destroyers are underrated. They're pretty decent siege units, and against some sort of chariot archer comp, very, very strong. Looks like Magic's needing to actually get some Sphinx out. He just needs the production. There's just Recon's 235 of 235. Magic's not close. Been pressured back so well, and then add insult to injury. Taking it with the traitor, just gets a Sphinx. Sphinx with no upgrades. Takes that off. Heavy infantry coming through, and Recon does take that one. And that was really well played. I mean, this is a completely different build than we normally see from these Gaias. They normally go for pure eco upgrades. We can see even 21 minutes in, Recon didn't get these upgrades that he could have got from the classical age. Also, not getting the heroes either, and just getting the straight into the second town center, and then just probably just superior unit comp with the pierce armor of the Cantarius and the destroyers. So yeah, so these guys played a second one, so I'm going to watch that from Magic's perspective, which will be the next video. So I'll see you in that one.